Om Sri Lakshmi Narsimhaya Namaha. Dhyana Bindu Upanishad. Om, may he protect us both together. May he nourish us both together. May we work conjointly with great energy. May our study be vigorous and effective. May we not mutually dispute, or may we not hate any. Om, let there be peace in me. Let there be peace in my environment. Let there be peace in the forces that act on me. 1. Even if sin should accumulate to a mountain extending over many yojanas, that is distance, it is destroyed by Dhyana Yoga. At no time has been found a destroyer of sins like this. 2. Bijakshara, that is seed letter, is the supreme Bindu. Nada, spiritual sound, is above it. When that nada ceases along with letter, then the nada-less is supreme state. 3. The yogin, who considers as the highest that which is above nada, which is anahata, has all his doubts destroyed. 4. If the point of a hair be divided into 100,000 parts, this nada is one half of that still further divided. And when even this is absorbed, the yogin attains to the stainless Brahman. 5 and 6. One who is of firm mind and without the delusion of sensual pleasures and ever resting in Brahman should see like the string in a rosary of beads all creatures as existing in Atman, like odors in flowers, ghee in milk, oil in gingerly seeds and gold in cords. 7. Again, just as the oil depends for its manifestation upon gingerly seeds and odor upon flowers, so does the Purusha depend for its existence upon the body, both external and internal. 8. The tree is with parts and its shadow is without parts, but with and without parts Atman exists everywhere. 9a. The one Akshara, letter Om, should be contemplated upon as Brahman by all who aspire for emancipation. 9b and 10a. Prithvi, Agni, Rigveda, Bhu and Brahma, all these are absorbed when Akara, A, the first Amsa part of Pranava, Om, becomes absorbed. 10b and 11a. Antariksha, Yajurveda, Vayu, Bhuha and Vishnu, the Janardana, all these are absorbed when the Ukara, U, the second Amsa of Pranava, becomes absorbed. 11b, 12a. Dhyur, Sun, Samaveda, Swaha and Maheshwara, all these are absorbed when Makara, the third Amsa of Pranava, becomes absorbed. 12b and 13a. Akara is of Pita, yellow color, and is said to be of Rajoguna. Ukara is of white color and of Satuguna. Makara is of dark color and of Tamoguna. 13b and 14a. He who does not know Omkara as having 8 Angas, parts, 4 Padas, feet, 3 Sthanas, seats, and 5 Devatas, presiding deities, is not a Brahmana. 14b and 15. Pranava is the bow, Atman is the arrow, and Brahman is said to be the aim. One should aim at it with great care, and then he, like the arrow, becomes one with it. When that highest is cognized, all karmas return from him, that is, do not affect him. 16. The Vedas have Omkara as their cause. The Swaras, sounds, have Omkara as their cause. The 3 worlds with all the locomotive and the fixed ones in them have Omkara as their cause. 17. The short ascent of Om burns all sins. The long one is decayless and the bestower of prosperity. United with Ardhamantra, that is half meter of Om, the Pranava becomes the bestower of salvation. 18. That man is the knower of Vedas who knows that the end, that is Ardhamantra of Pranava, should be worshipped or recited as uninterrupted as the flow of oil and resounding as long as the sound of a bell. 19. one should contemplate upon Omkara as Ishvara resembling an unshaken light, as of the size of a thumb and as motionless in the middle of the pericarp of the lotus of the heart. 20. Taking in Vayu through the left nostril and filling the stomach with it, one should contemplate upon Omkara as being in the middle of the body and as surrounded by the circling flames. 21. Brahma is said to be inspiration, Vishnu is said to be cessation of breath, and Rudra is said to be expiration. These are the devatas of pranayama. 22. Having made Atman as the lower, Arani, sacrificial wood, and Pranava as the upper, Arani, one should see the God in secret through the practice of churning, which is Dhyana. 23. One should practice restraint of breath as much as it lies in his power, along with the uttering of Omkara sound, until it ceases completely. 24. Those who look upon Om as the form of Hamsa staying in all, shining like crores of suns, being alone, staying in Gamagama, that is ever going and coming, and being devoid of motion, at last such persons are freed from sin. 25. That Manas, which is the author of the actions, that is creation, preservation and destruction of the three worlds, is then absorbed in the Supreme One, that is the highest state of Vishnu. 26. The lotus of the heart has 8 petals and 32 filaments. The sun is in its midst, the moon is in the middle of the sun. 27. Agni is in the middle of the moon. The Prabha, spiritual light, is in the middle of Agni. Pitha, that is seat or center, is in the midst of Prabha, being set in diverse jumps. 28 and 29. One should meditate upon the stainless Lord Vasudeva as being seated upon the center of Pitha, as having Srivatsa, black mark, and Kaustubha, garland of gems, on his chest, and as adored with gems and pearls resembling pure crystal in luster, and as resembling crores of moons in brightness. He should meditate upon Mahavishnu as above, or in the following manner. 30 and 31. That is, he should meditate with inspiration of breath upon Mahavishnu as resembling the Atasi flower and as staying in the seat of navel with 4 hands. Then, with restraint of breath, he should meditate in the heart upon Brahma, the grandfather, as being on the lotus with the Gaura, that is pale red color of gems, and having 4 faces. 32 and 34a. Then, through expiration, he should meditate upon the 3-eyed Shiva between the 2 eyebrows, shining like the pure crystal, being stainless, destroying all sins, being in that which is like the lotus facing down with its flowers or face below, and the stalk above, or like the flower of a plantain tree, being of the form of all Vedas, containing 100 petals and 100 leaves, and having the pericarp fully expanded. 34b and 35. There he should meditate upon the sun, the moon, and the Agni, one above another, passing above through the lotus which has the brightness of the sun, moon, and Agni, and taking its Hrim Bija letter, one leads his Atman firmly. 36. He is the knower of Vedas, who knows the 3 seeds, the 3 mantras, the 3 Brahmas, the 3 Aksharas, letters, and 3 mantras associated with Ardha Mantra. 37. He who knows that which is above Bindu, Nada, and Kala, as uninterrupted as the flow of oil and resounding as long as the sound of a bell, that man is a knower of the Vedas. 38. Just as a man would drop with his mouth the water through the pores of the lotus stalk, so the yogin, threading the path of yoga, should draw up the breath. 39. Having made the lotus sheet of the form of Ardha Mantra, one should draw up the breath through the stalk of the Nadis, Shushmana, Ida, and Pingala, and observe it in the middle of the eyebrow. 40. He should know that the middle of the eyebrows in the forehead, which is also the root of the noses, is a seat of nectar. That is the great place of Brahman. 41. Postures, restraint of breath, subjugation of the senses, Dharana, Dhyana and Samadhi are the 6 parts of yoga. 42. There are as many postures as there are living creatures, and Maheshwara, the great Lord, knows their distinguishing features. 43. Siddha, Bhadra, Simha and Padma are the 4 chief postures. Mooladhara is the first chakra. Swadhisthana is the second. 44. Between these two is said to be the seat of Yogin, perineum, having the form of Kama, god of love. In the Adhara of the anus, there is the lotus of 4 petals. 45 and 46. In its midst is said to be the yoni called Kama and worshipped by the Siddhas. In the midst of the yoni is the linga facing the west and split at its head like the gem. He who knows this is a knower of the Vedas. 47. A 4-sided figure is situated above Agni and below the genital organ, of the form of molten gold and shining like streaks of lightning. Prana is with Swa, own sound, having Swadhisthana as its Adhisthana, seat, or since Swa or Prana arises from it. 48. The chakra Swadhisthana is spoken of as the genital organ itself. The chakra in the middle of the sphere of navel is called Manipuraka, since the body is pierced through by Vayu like manis, that is, gems by string. 49 and 50a. The jiva, ego, urged to actions by its past virtuous and sinful karmas, whirls about in this great chakra of 12 spokes, so long as it does not grasp the truth. 50b. Above the genital organ and below the navel is Kanda, of the shape of the bird's egg. 51. There arises from it nadis 72,000 in number. Of this, 72 are generally known. 52 and 53. Of this, the chief ones are 10 and carrying the pranas Ida, Pingala, Shishmana, Gandhari, Hastijiva, Pusha, Yashashwini, Alambusa, Kuhu and Sankhini are said to be the 10. 54 and 55a. This chakra of the nadis should ever be known by the yogins. The 3 nadis, Ida, Pingala and Shushmana are said to carry prana always and have as their devatas moon, sun and Agni. 55b and 56a. Ida is on the left side and Pingala on the right side, while Shushmana is in the middle. These 3 are known to be the parts of prana. 56b and 57. Prana, Apana, Samana, Udana and Vyana. Naga, Kurma, Krikara, Devadatta and Dhananjaya. Of these, the first 5 are called pranas, etc. and the last 5 nagas, etc. are called vayus or subpranas. 58. Of these are situated or run along the 1000 nadis, being in the form of or producing life. Jiva, which is under the influence of prana and apana, goes up and down. 59 and 60a. Jiva, on account of its ever moving by the left and right parts, is not visible. Just as a ball struck down on the earth with the bat of the hand springs up, so Jiva, ever tossed by prana and apana, is never at rest. 60b and 61a. He is the knower of yoga who knows that prana always draws itself from apana and apana draws itself from prana, like a bird drawing itself from and yet not freeing itself from the string to which it is tied. 61b to 63. The jiva comes out with the letter ha and gets in again with the letter sa. Thus jiva always utters the mantras hamsa, hamsa. The jiva always utters the mantra 21,600 times in one day and night. This is called Ajapa Gayatri and is ever the bestower of nirvana to the yogins. 64 to 66a. Through its very thought, man is freed from sins. Neither in the past nor in the future is there a science equal to this, a japa equals to this, or a meritorious action equal to this. Parameshwari, that is, Kundalini Shakti, sleeps shutting with her mouth the doors which leads to the decayless Brahma hole. 66b to 68. Being aroused by the contact of Agni with Manas and Prana, she takes the form of a needle and pierces up through Shushmana. The yogin should open with great efforts this door which is shut. Then he will pierce the door to salvation by means of Kundalini. 69. Folding firmly the fingers of the hand, assuming firmly the Padma posture, placing the chin firmly on the breast and fixing the mind in dhyana, one should frequently raise up the apana, filling up the air and then leave the prana. Then the wise man gets matchless wisdom through this Shakti. 70. That yogin who, assuming Padma posture, worships, that is controls Vayu at the door of the nadis and then performs a restraint of breath is released without doubt. 71 and 72. Rubbing off the limbs, the sweat arising from fatigue, abandoning all acid, bitter and saltish food, taking delight in the drinking of milk and rasa, practicing celibacy, being moderate in eating and ever bent on yoga, the yogin becomes a siddha in little more than a year. No inquiry need to be made concerning the result. 73. Kundalini Shakti, when it is up in the throat, makes up the yogi get siddhi. The union of the prana and apana has the extension of urine and faces. 74 and 75a. One becomes young even when old through performing Mula Bandha, always pressing the yoni by means of the heels and contracting the anus and drawing up the apana. This is Mula Bandha. 75b and 76. Udhyana Bandha is so called because it is like a great bird that flies up always without rest. One should bring the western part of the stomach above the navel. 77. This Udhyana Bandha is a lion to the elephant of death, since it binds the water or nectar of the Akasha which arises in the head and flows down. 78 and 79a. The Jalandhara Bandha is the destroyer of all pains of the throat. When this Jalandhara Bandha, which is destroyer of the pains of the throat, is performed, the nectar does not fall on Agni, nor does the Vayu move. 79b and 80a. When the tongue enters backwards in the hole of the skull, then there is the Mudra of Vision latent in the eyebrow called Kechari. 80b and 81a. He who knows the Mudra Kechari has no disease, death, sleep, hunger, thirst or swoon. 81b to 83a. He who practices this mudra is not affected by illness or karma, nor is he bound by the limitations of time. Since chitta moves in the kha, akasha, and since the tongue has entered in the mudra kha, that is the hole in the mouth, therefore the mudra is called kechari and worshipped by the siddhas. 83b and 84. He whose hole or passage above the uvala is closed with the tongue backwards by means of kechari mudra never loses his virility, even when embraced by a lovely woman. Where is the fear of death? So long as the bindu, virility, stays in the body. 85 and 86a. Bindu does not go out of the body so long as kechari mudra is practiced. Even when bindu comes down to the spear or the perineum, it goes up, being prevented and forced up by the violent effort through yoni mudra. 86b to 87. This bindu is twofold, white and red. The white one is called shukla and the red one is said to contain much rajas. The rajas which stays in yoni is like the color of a coral. 88. The bindu stays in the seat of the genital organs. The union of these two is very rare. Bindu is Shiva and Rajas is Shakti. Bindu is the moon and Rajas is the sun. 89 and 90a. Through the union of these two is attained the highest body when Rajas is roused up by agitating the Shakti through Vayu, which unites with the sun. Thence is produced the divine form. 90b to 92. Shukla being united with the moon and Rajas with the sun, he is the knower of yoga who knows the proper mixture of these two. The cleansing of the accumulated refuse, the unification of the sun and the moon, and the complete drying of the rasas, that is essences. This is called Mahamudra. 93. Placing the chin on the breast, pressing the anus by means of the left heel, and seizing the toe of the extended right leg by the two hands, one should fill his belly with air and should slowly exhale. This is called Mahamudra, the destroyer of the sins of men. 94. Now I shall give a description of Atman. In the seat of the heart is a lotus of 8 petals. In its center is Jivatma of the form of Jyotis and atomic in size, moving in circular line. In it is located everything. In knows everything. It does everything. It does all these actions attributing everything to its own power. Thinking, I do. I enjoy, I am happy, I am miserable, I am blind, I am lame, I am deaf, I am mute, I am lean, I am stout, etc. When it rests on the eastern pedal, which is of Sweta, white color, then it has a mind or is inclined to dharma with bhakti, that is devotion. When it rests on the southeastern petal, which is of Rakta, blood color, then it is inclined to sleep and laziness. When it rests on the southern pedal, which is of Krishna, black color, then it is inclined to hate and anger. When it rests on the southwestern pedal, which is of Neela, blue color, then it gets desire for sinful or harmful action. When it rests on the western pedal, which is of the crystal color, then it is inclined to flirt and amuse. When it rests on the northwestern pedal, which is of ruby color, then it has a mind to walk, row, and have vairagya or be different. When it rests on the northern pedal, which is Pita, that is yellow color, then it is inclined to be happy and to be loving. When it rests on the northeastern pedal, which is of Vaidurya, that is lapis lazuli color, then it is inclined to amassing money, charity, and passion. When it stays in the inner space between any two pedals, then it gets the wrath arising from diseases generated through the disturbance of equilibrium of Vayu, bile, and phlegm in the body. When it stays in the middle, then it knows everything, sings, dances, speaks, and is blissful. When the eye is pained after a day's work, then in order to remove its pain, it makes first a circular line and sinks in the middle. The first line is of the color of Bhanduka flower, that is Basia. Then is the state of sleep. In the middle of the state of sleep is the state of dream. In the middle of the state of dream, it experiences the ideas of perception, Vedas, inference, possibility, sacred words, etc. Then there arises much fatigue. In order to remove this fatigue, it circles a second line and sinks in the middle. The second is of the color of the insect, Indragopa, of red or white color. Then comes the state of dreamless sleep. During the dreamless sleep, it has only the thought connected with Parameshwara, the highest Lord alone. This state is of the nature of eternal wisdom. Afterwards, it attains the nature of the highest Lord Parameshwara. Then it makes a round of the third circle and sinks in the middle. The third circle is the color of Padmaraga, that is ruby. Then comes the state of Turya, the fourth. In Turya, there is only the connection of Paramatman. It attains the nature of eternal wisdom. Then one should gradually attain the quiescence of Buddhi with self-control. Placing the Manas in Atman, one should think of nothing else. Then, causing the union of Prana and Apana, he concentrates his aim upon the whole universe being of the nature of Atman. Then comes the state of Turyatita, that is the state beyond the fourth. Then everything appears as bliss. He is beyond the pains of happiness and pains, etc. He stays here as long as he should wear his body. Then he attains the nature of Paramatman and attains emancipation. Through this means, this alone is the means of knowing Atman. When Vayu, breath, which enters the great hole associated with a hall where 4 roads meet, gets into the half of the well-placed triangle, then is Achutya, the indestructible scene. 95. Above the aforesaid triangle, one should meditate on 5 bijas, seed, letters of the elements, Prithvi, etc. As also on the 5 pranas, the color of the bijas and their position. The letter Ya is the bija of prana and resembles a blue cloud. The letter Ra is the bija of Agni, is of Apana and resembles a sun. 96. The letter La is the bija of Prithvi, is of Vyana and resembles Bhanduka flower. The letter Va is bija of Jiva or Vayu, is of Udana and is of the color of the conch. 97 to 99a, the letter Ha is the bija of Akasha, is of Samana and is the color of crystal. Prana stays in the heart, navel, nose, ear, foot, finger and other places, travels through the 72,000 nadis, stays in the 28 crores of hair pores and is yet the same everywhere. It is that which is called Jiva. 99b to 101a, one should perform the three, expiration, etc. with a firm will and great control, and drawing in everything with the breath. In slow degrees he should bind prana and apana in the cave of the lotus of the heart and utter pranava, having contracted his throat and the genital organ. 101b and 102. From the Muladhara to the head is the Sushmana resembling the shining thread of the lotus. The Nada is located in Vinadanda, that is spinal column. That sound from its middle resembles that of the conch, etc. 103 and 104a. When it goes to the whole of Akasha, it resembles that of a peacock. In the middle of the cave of the skull, between the four doors, shines Atman like the sun in the sky. 104b and 105. Between the two bows in the Brahma hole, one should see Purusha with Shakti as his own Atman. Then his Manas is absorbed there. That man attains Kaivalya, who understands the gems, moonlight, Nada, Bindu and the seat of Maheshwara, the great Lord. Thus is the Upanishad. Om, may he protect us both together, may he nourish us both together, may we conjointly with great energy, may we work conjointly with great energy, may our study be vigorous and effective, may we not mutually dispute or may we not hate any. Om, let there be peace in me, let there be peace in my environment, let there be peace in the forces that act on me. Here ends the Dhyana Bindu Upanishad belonging to the Krishna Yajurveda. Mantrahina, Kriyahina, Bhaktihina, Kshimapate. Om Sri Krishnarpanamastu.